Izin Pak, boleh pakai clip on. Di mana ya? Di sini boleh. Saya pasangin boleh. Ya, sudah bisa mulai. Ya, sudah. Oke, sip. Sip. Sudah, bisa? Oke, sip. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you still have the energy to do another workshop. This is the last workshop of today. So yeah, so my workshop is about how Scrapy can make doing web scraping easy. So I'm first a little about myself. I have been working at Zite as Python developer from 2014 until now. So if you don't know it yet, so Zite is formerly called Scraping Hub, and it is the creator and the maintainer of Scrapy. Scrapy is a web scraping framework written in Python, and Zite, or formerly Scraping Hub, is the one who created and maintained the framework until now. I also community for local Python community, or PyJogja, since 2020 and 19 until now. Okay, so this is a very basic workshop. So I'm assuming that all of you at least have basic programming skill and basic understanding of hypertext transport protocol, and basic understanding about HTML document structure. But first, maybe I want to check first, like, how many of you are all familiar with web scraping? Can you raise your hand? 1, 2, 3, 4. Mas lagi 5. Yes, 6. And what programming language do you use to do web scraping? Python. Anyone else? Python. Anyone else using another programming language? No. And what library or what framework do you use? Sorry? Beautiful soup. Right. And how do you get the web page? Oh yeah. Extract the data, pass it to beautiful soup, into dictionaries Yeah, yeah. How about the others? Do you Beautiful soup? Okay. Any of you have use Scrappy? Ah, okay, good. So we only have one that use Scrappy. So okay, so I will assume basic understanding of Python and HTTP. So okay, I will. So for those who are not familiar with web scraping, so why we are doing web scraping? Because the web contains a lot of data, and it is most often on the most easiest way to get structured data. The problem is the data is presented for human and not for another software or for the computer to process. So you need to write a program called web scraper to convert the data from the semi-structured format. It can be HTML, it can be JavaScript, and then convert it into a structure that can be understood by your data pipeline. So there are two main tasks or two main problems when we are doing web scraping. The first is web crawling, or how we can get the web page. Like, so you can see here. So we will use this website. So Z created this dummy website. So you can practice doing web scraping without annoying the website owner. They will not sue you. They will not file you a complaint when you call or scrape this website. This is toscript.com. And one example here is a fictional bookstore here. Okay, so the first problem is web crawling, or how we get uh, the web page that we want, that contains the data that we want to extract. So, for example, you maybe you only want to extract travel books. Okay, then you only need to crawl this page. Okay, and there is only one page. There is no pagination here. And maybe you're only interested in getting the title and the price. So crawling this single page is all you need, all right? But if somehow you want more information that not available in the usually we call this listing page, or a page that contains a list of objects. So if you only need the title, the book title, the price, then you can get all of them in this single page. You only need one HTTP request to get the page and to get all the data that you need. But what if somehow you also need more details? Like maybe you want the description, or maybe you want text, or price without text and UPC. Then you need to call the detail page. So web crawling is dealing with the how to get the web page that contains the data that you want. That is the first task of web scraping. And the second task is once you get the web page that contains the data that you want, is how to extract the data into the format that you want, like this. So for example, this is the web page, the detailed page of the book. It contains title, it contains the author, it contains the price, the stock, and the rating. So for example, you want to extract the data like this. So that is the second task, web data extraction. And then in the workshop, you can see how you can implement web crawling and web extraction using Scrappy. Okay, yeah, about Scrappy itself, as I mentioned, it is a web scraping framework. And unlike Beautiful Soup, I think Beetle Soup is not a framework, but it is more like a library. And you can use Beautiful Soup when using Scrappy. So I think Beetle Soup does not handle scheduling, request scheduling, how you will schedule the request, how you specify the delay between requests, how you set up the number of concurrent requests. I don't think Beautiful Soup support that, but Scrappy support that. And if you still want to use Beautiful Soup to extract the data into Scrappy, then you can still use Beautiful Soup. It is written in Python. It is open source. It is battle tested. So my company has been developing and using it for more than 10 years, from small scale project and to big scale project where we crawl million of web page. We have used it, and it is also one of the most well documented framework. Okay, well, I don't know if any of you have installed Scrappy, but well, it is I already write in the pre-talk that the requirement for this workshop is you must install Python and Scrappy. So if you have not installed it, so I usually use UV to install Scrappy, but I already installed it. So, and I hope you have done this. Okay, I will sit. Okay, so the first problem is very simple. We want to extract a list of books from this page. Okay, so there are here. It shows 20 books in this page. We only for the first task we will only crawl this web page and install extract all the books here. So how to do that with Scrappy? Okay, I will create a file. First task. Can you see the text from behind? Okay, good. So the first thing is we will import spider. So a spider in Scrappy is a class that you must extend in order for you to can run it, and the spider will crawl all the required web pages and extract the data from the web page. So we will create a class for the spider. Okay, so the starting point of the spider is the initial request, and we define it inside a method named start request. And this method accepts you to return. It is a generator, so or you can also return a list of requests. So here we must add the dependency for request from Scrappy import request. And here we will request the URL of the web page. Okay. So this is our first spider, and we will try to build it step by step. This is the first little baby step to create a spider in Scrapy. So start request like this means that you will request this URL in the beginning, and when the response for this request has been downloaded, the callback is parse method. Here, I will simply inspect the response. Some of you are still typing this, so yeah, I will wait. But basically, this inspect response function can be used by you when you start doing spider development. So you will receive a response, and then you can inspect the response itself. Are you ready to run your first spider? So we have write this first file, and to run it, you can Scrapy run spider first file. Okay. So it called this page books.toscript.com, and there is some pointers there. You can view the response. So it will open the web page in the web browser, in your default web browser. What is the difference between opening the website directly and opening this page like this using view response? So the difference is that with view response, it will only open the plain HTML into the web browser, as opposed to opening the web page in this from this URL. It will request the plain HTML, and also it will request other assets like JavaScript or image or others, and maybe some JavaScript will so the JavaScript will be rendered correctly, but sometimes when you open the plain HTML, some JavaScript might not be executed properly, and since by default Scrapy does not doing rendering, it does not execute the JavaScript inside the web page, so you will get the plain HTML. So that's why you want to inspect the response using this, and then view it in the web browser, because that is what you're getting, and you are not getting the rendered version of the web page, but instead you are getting the plain page. And then what will we do? So there are 20 books there. The first thing, so we already done the web crawling task, right? It is very simple. We just call this URL, and then the second task of web scraping is the extraction task. And for the extraction, if the response that we get is HTML, then we need to analyze the web page, and the browser developer tool is your friend here. So you need to inspect the element here. Okay. So you want to get to the section where the books are displayed. Here, you go down here. Okay, so maybe you can see that the website developer is using the list element, the OL is element to display the list of the book. So as you make aware, I assume that some of you are familiar with web development and familiar with CSS selector. You can access the element like this. Okay, so we are getting the row element here, and then the books are in the li element. Okay, we can store this into a variable, and then we need to check the length of the element. Okay, 20. So we get 20 elements. So I think we are getting the correct element because we are expecting 20 books. Okay, so first we want to get the book title. We can do this. We need to inspect where is the title located in the HTML. Okay, so it is in this element. I try to zoom in. Okay, so we are here. I mean, we are starting from the li element, and then we go down into the h3 element. So from li, we are going to h3. Okay, and then we go down to the anchor element and the href element, and we can choose are we going to extract the title from this or from this. But you know that you can see that it is better to extract the title from here instead of here because the title in this element is truncated, and we want to get the complete title. So how to get into that S3E title? Okay. Any questions so far? I hope I'm not too fast. I hope. Okay. So this is not your standard CSS selector because CSS selector does not specify anything about HTML element attribute here because CSS selector is meant for you to get into an element and then define the style, right? But an attribute in HTML does not have a style, so it does not make sense for the to define this attr keyword in the CSS selector. But in Scrapy, the Scrapy developer is creating some keyword so we can access the attribute of an HTML element. So to do that in CSS, you can do this. You specify in the HTML element A, and then colon attr, and then the name of the attribute, and you get the value of that attribute. Okay. By the way, if there is also another language that can be used to access HTML element beside CSS selector. So we have CSS selector, We also have XPath. The equivalent XPath expression is like this. Here. So this is equivalent as the previous CSS selector. Okay, we will try to incorporate that code into our Spider. So CSS. Oh, wait. So to get the book title, all of the book title in the web page, you can do this. So it is so that means the parse method is a generator, and it will yield every book title from the web page. Okay, we can try to run the complete Spider now. So anyway, by the way, you can yield a dictionary from the Spider. It is the most simple approach, a yield dictionary. But you can also yield or return other object like in Scribe you can have you can have item, and you can define your own item. Like title. You can do this too, but for the sake of the simplicity, I will just yield a dictionary from the method. Okay, so let's try to rerun our Spider again. So okay, let's just run it. Oh, sorry. It should be in the file name. Okay, so you can check the log. Item scraped count is 20. Okay. The log shows that it extracts every title of the book. But what if you want to store the data into a file? You can add an argument like this, min o data dot. You can specify CSV. And let's see how it will be. So let's open data.csv. So the file is like this. You can also specify JSON. And the data will be like, the data will be like this. It is an array of object. You can also specify JSON lines format. So the difference between JSON and JSON lines format is that in the JSON it will be a single array, a single JSON array, but in the GL or JSON lines format, it will be each line will be a valid JSON object instead of a single array. Any questions so far, or it's good so far? Yes, please. When we use a yield instead of return, so you can also it is depend on your use case. So you can also return here, so like this. You can also do this and then return the books. You can do this, but most of the Scrappy developer prefer to use yield. Because why? Because sometimes you need sometimes it is just make more sense when you use yield. For example, if there is one of the reasons why yield is preferable is that you don't need to store the whole object into the array. You will hold the, especially if the object is big. If you need to store all of the object into single array, single list, then it will keep all of them into memory. But if you yield it and there is no it getting processed quickly, then it will save memory if you are using yield. Another reason is that sometimes this method is not. Another reason why you use yield is that sometimes you need to return yield more than one type of item. So, okay, right now we only crawling this page, right? But what if you want to crawl the next page? If you want to crawl the next page, then you need to for example, next page request next page URL, and then you need to include this into books and like this. And this is not this will work, but it is not readable, right? Because you mix the data and the request. So the preferable approach is yield, like this. So instead of doing this, you can do this. So it is more cleaner because you can see that this section will yield data, but this will yield request instead of putting different kind of things into a single list. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Any other question? Yes, please. It so ethically ethically you need to like this. So okay, if you so for example, if you there is a comment in Scrappy to start a project. Pycon. Okay, and you can see that Scrappy provide a setting here. This is one of the Scrappy setting. And if you want to crawl, if you want to be very good people, you can identify yourself, but at the risk of your own. Like you can get banned instantly if you identify yourself, and they will know who crawl website. So it is more like of ethical question instead of technical one. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, they will simply reject you, right? They will, yeah. So I think as long as we are not overburden the website, we are not sending more requests than visual. So there will be another section, another slide in my workshop about the politeness, and yeah, we will get to that section soon. As long as you are not overburden website, then you can use. I think it is my personal opinion. Maybe some of you will disagree. You can use any user agent that you want. Any other question before? Yeah, please. This is the default user agent. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry. I think the default user agent is Scrappy. Uh, we can check. Pycon. We can check this. Sorry. Okay. We can check that in. So we will put the debugger again. Yeah. So import inspect. So here you can see in the request, right? And let's see in the header. Okay, the default user agent is this. Scrappy. So they will know you instantly that you are using Scrappy. And I have a funny story. So you know that Scrappy is an open source software, right? And then some people are using Scrappy, and they use it to crawl a website, and maybe they overburden the website much, and then the website complain to us because they thought that we are scraping their website. Yeah. Any other question? Can we continue? Okay, I will continue. I hope this is not too basic for you because I don't know what will my audience will be. So I will just assume on the basic skill. Maybe some of you are already expert like Sari or Masaki or even Tewe there. She's also an expert, but yeah. Okay, the next exercise is to is what if we want to call the pagination or this one? Well, like if we only call this page, then we only get 20 books, but we want to get 1,000 books. So we need to call the pagination. Okay, let's modify our spider. Okay, so the code to extract the data, I think, is already finished. I mean, you can also get other data fields, but I think you get the idea of how to use CSS selector or to use XPath to extract the data. Uh, I want to show you how you can call the next page. So we need to inspect the web page in the browser console. We can see that the link to the next page is available here, and we can access it. So it is a Lee element with class next, and then directly as it's a child is the A element. Okay, so we get this. So we get this as the next page URL. Okay, and the assumption is the next page URL will not be available in the last pagination. So we need to check its availability. And please note that here, the next page URL is a relative URL. It is not the complete URL. And how to get the complete URL is that you need to join it. So you can get the complete URL. Okay. So here we add the code to get the next page URL, and then if it is available, we will request the next page. Okay, let's run our spider again. So there are how many? There are 1,000 books, and each page is displaying 20. So by that math, there will be 50 web pages that we need to crawl. Okay, the crawl has finished. We have crawled 50 web page, and we should be extracting 1,000 book title. Let's check the data. Oh, 1,020 because I forgot to delete the previous book. We can try again if, but I will also use the option to store the log into a file instead of display the log into your standard output. We can put the log into a file. Log file, sorry. Log file. We can watch the progress here. Okay, it's done already. You can see in the log here. Item scraped count is 1,000, and you can also check the count on the data here, 1,000, and you can get title here. Okay. So we have done the two basic tasks in our web scraping workshop. The first is to extract list of items from a single listing page, and the second is we can crawl the pagination. And now, what if we are not? We also need to visit or to crawl the detail book page. we need to modify our color. Let's go with Scrappy cell again. Sorry. Okay, so look at this. Now we don't need to extract the title from this, but instead we want to get the link to the detail page. Okay. So here is what we'll do. Here, okay. Okay, it is also a relative URL, so we need to join. Okay, so we get the URL to the detail page of the book, and then we will request it. And when we receive the response of the detail page, we will process it into with a callback named post detail that we have not created yet. So let's create the method. Okay, so we need to define this method, parse detail, and I will show you another feature of another command of Scrappy that can be used. So it is Scrappy cell. I want to inspect this web page using Scrappy, and I can run Scrappy cell on it. Okay, I'm getting another Scrappy console without running the spider. Okay, for example, I want to. Okay, first I want to get the title. Let's check. Okay, so it is H1 element. What do you want to extract? Do you want to extract the price, the image? Any suggestion on what I should extract from this page? Image, okay, image URL. Okay. Should be article product page. Okay, I think it is so. The art of choosing the best CSS selector to get into element is that it must be in the simple, the simplest enough that you can have. It should not be complicated. It should be simple enough, but you still get the data. Don't make it more complex than it should be. Why? Because the simpler you can define your CSS selector, the less likely it will break when the website layout changes, or when there is a slightly layout variation, your CSS selector will not break. So it is more like an art, but yeah, but the general guideline is that choose the simplest CSS selector possible. Okay. Check image URL. Just copy this. Again, we are only getting the relative URL. So we need to join it. Okay. We can use return here because why? Because we are confident that we will only return a single thing here. Okay. You can test. So before you are running the whole core, oh, it is still running. I need to kill it. Before you are running the whole core for 1,000 web pages, it is a good idea to test your extraction code with a single page first. There is a scrappy command for that. Scrappy pass. Sorry. We need to have a project for that, so we cannot use it. So yeah, so let's assume that. So we already tested in a scrappy cell, so let's assume that it will work, and we are not wasting 1,000 requests for wrong code. Okay. Okay. I'm running the call to call all listing page, all pagination, and then we also will call every book detail page. So there are 1,000 divided by 20, about 50 pages of listing, and then 1,000 pages of details. So 1,050 pages we will call. I think there is some error. Okay. Missing scheme in request URL. Line 22. Title. Sorry, it will be href. Okay. I hope I'm not making mistake here. Okay. Okay, now we will call 1050 web pages, and we can monitor the progress by checking the log periodically. Okay, the top number is how many records we or how many books we have extracted, and we are close to 1000 already. Okay, now we get 1000 books. We can check the title. We can check the image URL. Okay. Any question so far? We have so far we have done the three basic tasks of web scraping: extract list of items from a listing page, crawl listing pagination, and then crawling and extracting item from detail page. So this is the very basic web scraping tasks, but well, most of the times the website that you're crawling is not that easy, right? This only work for some simple websites, but don't worry, we also have other challenges here in the toscript.com. So yeah, so let's do all the challenge, if the time allows. So there are other challenges. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we have done the basic challenge to get 1000 books from books.toscript.com. We have done that. The second challenge, I'll tell there are multiple challenges here, but the next challenge is to extract quote from this. So there are multiple challenges here. The first is default microdata and pagination. I think it is similar to our previous tasks. But the second challenge is how to crawl infinite scrolling. Yeah, if you are familiar with some websites or doing infinite scrolling, if you scroll, you get data until you have read all of them. So okay, so let's tackle this challenge. Let's create another spider. Okay, as usual, we will use request and spider. On this case, we need to, as usual, we need to inspect. If previously we only need to inspect the HTML element, but for the crawling logic to be implemented, we need to observe how is the request instead of the HTML element. Okay. So we need to check the network tab instead of the HTML element. Okay. Let's scroll down. And let's see the AJAX request sent to the website. You can see here is the AJAX request, and the data is nicely formatted as JSON already. So it is a happy case because we don't need to do much of extraction because the data is already in JSON. Yeah, you can see in the data preview that it is already in JSON format. And it is a simple GET request. You only need the URL. So there is page 2, page 3, page 4. It is a URL that accepts page parameter. Okay, so let's define the method to get the request. Okay, so the URL pattern is simple. You only need to put the page number into the URL, and then you can return it as a request. Again, let's put Scrapy inspector here, and let's run our spider. Okay. So now, because the data is in JSON, there is a method in Scrapy. You can simply do this, and you will automatically get the Scrapy will pass the JSON for you into a variable. Actually, you can check the format here in the browser. Okay. Again, it is very nice for us to have this kind of structure. It provides you with whether there is still more quotes or not, and the quotes is already here, the quote data. So you can simply do this. Okay, so this will extract all the quotes inside this array. But you also want to call the next page, right? So let's do this. Has next. Then let's call the next page. We already defined a method to get the request from the list of quotes. We only need to specify the number of the page. Okay, and as there is the page number is defined as URL parameter, we can extract it from the URL. So there is a library that used by Scrapy named W3lib URL query parameter. So what does this function do? So it can extract a value from the URL parameter. Okay, so the response URL is this. And in order to get the value of the page, you can use this function. The first argument is the URL, and the second argument is the parameter name that you want to get the value of. So like this, you get the current page name, page number. Or I think it is also provided here. So I think it's better to just use this value. Sorry, yeah, I think this is not necessary because the website is also nicely provide us with the pagination information here. So current page is page, and the next page is current page plus one. Okay, and we can simply do this. Okay, let's try our spider. Oh, sorry. Oh, I forgot to comment this. Okay, we are getting 100 quotes from the website. Let's check the data. So okay, let's check the author. Okay, yeah, I think we are getting all of them, 100 quotes from the website. Any questions so far, or do you want to try the next challenge yourself? A question? Do you want to try the next challenge yourself? We have more challenging tasks, JavaScript. In case you have Scrappy installed, I think you should try the next challenge yourself. This JavaScript. Are you ready to solve it by yourself, or do you have any question before you work on this one? Yeah. How many times do I have left? Okay. 15 minutes. Okay. Okay, if there is no question, and I think you are too tired to try. Huh? You have to log in. Okay. Yeah. To be honest with you, I have not done this challenge, but okay. But let's see how we can tackle this one. Okay. Okay. Oh, it says that any user password works. First, we must inspect how the request made when you are doing login. But let's see, it is Sigit and password is Sigit. Okay, okay. Okay, so you have a CSRF token here, and usually it can be okay. For this, I usually okay. Let's try again. I mean, I think it's already deleted. Okay. Okay. You see, you can get the token here. So it is easy, right? Let's try the login. Fine. Copy password. Okay, the first thing that we should do is to extract the token. Why? Because beside username and password, we also need to send the CSRF token to the website. So that is what we will do. Input name CSRF token, and it will be the value. Okay, so we get the token here. Okay, let's do this. Okay. The URL is this. The payload is CSRF token. Actually, there is one a Scrappy request object called form request. You can use this instead of just basic form request. So you must specify the method. Okay, so as usual, let's check our code. Okay, so we have sent our login request, and we are getting HTTP. Okay, HTTP 200. So let's check our response. Okay, we are getting this page, and there is a logout link. So that means we are successfully logged in into the website. But I think Masaki question is how to maintain the session. So basically, by default, Scrappy will use a single cookie jar, and by using a single cookie jar, that means you are it will be a single session. So as long as the session is still valid, uh, the session will you can request any page that needs login. So after you are logged in, you can call all the codes as usual. I hope that answers Masaki question. Okay. Okay. Any more question? No? Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So the most difficult challenge that I ever encountered during my more than 10 years experience as Scrappy developer is anti-bot. It's called anti-bot. So you know that my company is working on crawling websites, but there are other companies that prevent crawler from crawling the website. And I don't need to mention the company names, but there are such companies. And the most difficult website is the one protected by anti-bot. We are still recorded, so I won't mention the name of the website, but I can tell you afterward after this. Yeah, but basically the most difficult website to crawl is the one protected by very difficult anti-bot. And during my almost more than 10 years experience, I encountered two websites, and two websites is not the popular website. It is you might not have heard the name of the websites, and I think that is their advantage. Why? Because popular websites want to have a lot of visitors, right? And they will not make it difficult for a visitor to visit their web page. And having very good anti-bot protection means that some of the legitimate or some of the human visitor will get prevented from accessing your website. That is the drawback of having very strong anti-bot protection. You can prevent legitimate user, legitimate human visitor to visit your website, even though you are not a bot. So that's why most popular websites we can still call them, But for some website that not so popular but have important data, they can put very strong anti-bot protection into their system. I can tell you after this session. Okay, any other question? Okay, okay, 5 minutes left. So, well, I assume that you can ask any question after I finish. So, yeah, I will just remind you about there are some important points about politeness. So, don't overload the website. Please don't overload the websites. So, even though my company doing web scraping every day, we have a politeness policy to not overload websites. So, Teresia knows better about the politeness policy. I don't know if it's you who create the policy, right? But it is solution architect. So Teresia was a former solution architect in my company, but now he rejoined the company as content writer. So there is a policy by solution architect that that you can get the information about the organic traffic of a website from a website similarweb.com. You can know the organic traffic, and our rule is that we will not exceed 10% of the organic traffic to the website. It's you who create the rule or someone after you? Okay, yeah. And to achieve that, you need to manage how many concurrent requests that you have. You need to set enough download delay between requests, and if you do that, then and not sending more requests, like in my company, the rule is 10% of the organic traffic to websites, then we can say that you are polite enough. There is also legal aspects. So please follow the copyright law, and also be careful with personal data because like in Europe, there is GDPR. And the fine for violating GDPR rules is very high, and that's why in my company there is some guidelines on some legal checks for every project before we can go ahead with a web scraping project. And what's next? So far I demonstrate to you how to use Scrapy as using single file, but the best practice is we create a project like this. Scrapy start project. Okay, so it will create a directory structure for you, and you can see that there are a lot of things there, like the settings, middleware pipelines. There are many components in Scrapy. If you have more complex project than this simple project, and there are a lot of Scrapy features that we have not explored yet. But feed export, I mean, it's the ability to store your data into different format. Like I have demonstrated to you, we can store the data as CSV, as JSON lines. But there are third-party plugins that will allow you to store the data into different format. And you can also store the data into different storage like Amazon S3, Google Cloud Storage, FTP, etc. And you can see here that there are Scrapy architecture. It's too small, I think. Okay, so here is the Scrapy architecture. So far we are only working with single spider, but there are other components like item pipelines. If you want to process your item or your report, There is a middleware, download the middleware, and also Spider middleware. Yeah. You can learn more about this in the Scrapy documentation, docs.scrapy.org. Okay. I think the time is up now, and if you have more questions, you can contact me at Telegram. My handle is Sigitsoft. I also organizer of the local Python Jogja community. You can also join in Telegram, in Instagram, and also follow us on X. Okay, thank you for attending my workshop. Yeah, and see you in the next session. Thank you. Yeah.
Can I speak English?
Yes, I say.
Jadi untuk cara crawlingnya sebuah website menggunakan digital ini,
Menggunakan apa?
digital yang menggunakan digital.
Silut yang